Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you stopping by to watch our content. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and engage us in the comment section. So we are discussing Kemi Badenoch, the one of the conservative leaders in the UK. She's a Nigerian British politician, and she's been making rounds on the Nigerian Twitter space or X space in the last few days. Or anytime she opens her mouth to do any interview, she's always going viral. Nigerians are always pushing back on some of her claims. And she was narrating her experience when she attended federal government college. I believe it's a girls only school in Shagamu in Ogun State. And a lot of people are giving her flack about it. She said, attending that school was like living in a prison because it was a boarding school and she was far away from home, and it was only her first time of being away from her parents, being away from her family members, the people that she is familiar with. One of the statements she made was that she attended the girls' college in Shagamu and it was like a prison. So a lot of people got offended by that comment and saying she's always painting Nigeria in a bad light. And she's only sharing the story based on her perspective. So I wanted to get your opinion on what you think on this issue.
Yeah, I think for many Nigerians, if you have been opportune to experience life outside the shore of Nigeria, um, if you have spent some time maybe abroad, been opportunity to go to school abroad or do things a little bit different, do things in abroad, I think you will almost share Kemi's perspective, regardless if she's a politician. I think for so many people, this is their story. Yes, she's constantly reminded, or she constantly remembers or get traumatized by her experience back in Nigeria. And for so many people, that's the case. And coupled with the fact that she went to boarding school, for me, I've never been an advocate or champion of boarding school. It has never interested me because some people turn out to be good. Some people that went to public school, boarding school, turn out to be good, but a good number of them pick up a lot of social vices. Gets back from boarding school because nobody can actually watch your children like you would, and they turn out to be doing things that you as a parent would not probably be proud of. But for Kemi, I think she's telling the truth. A lot of people, that is their story. I do not really see problem in what she's doing. I think Nigeria as a nation should use the opportunity to make amends, put some things in place. She did say that the police, Nigerian police took her brother's shoe. Did they try to investigate her? Did they try to look into the matter? And if they did, what was the outcome of the investigation? For the school that she said it felt like a prison. Yeah, boarding school will naturally feel like a prison because essentially you have no freedom. Non boarding school like day schools, they feel like prison as well. No, and the way and manner those teachers interacted with us, dealt with a lot of us. We are not really proud of that moment. And for some of those teachers, I promise you that today, if they see you, they may likely apologize to you for the way they handle you because they were cruel toward us, were everything but child of God towards us. So for me, I don't really see problem in what Kemi is doing. I think the reason why people are having problem with it is because she's discussing it on international stage, and then Nigeria as a country and even Nigeria as a people are not proud of what we did. I don't know. I have been away for a minute now. I don't know if those practice still persist because when I went to my primary school and secondary school in Nigeria, I mean, I was traumatized, though we don't show it so as not to show weakness. But I mean, essentially, we wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to go sweep the school, sweep the entire school, sweep the classrooms, go back home to get ready for school. You come late to school, they will beat the hell out of you. Then after school, 2:30, you will come back to do labor. And for some days, recess or break period, they will send you to their farms to work. And instead of you to be learning, and they are using to do their farms. And I sincerely think that even at that time, that they were using us to cut the grass and stuff like that and keep the school clean. I would think that they were, state government, local government were budgeting money for those things, and somebody was just busy pocketing those money and using students to do those work. And yeah, I think since Kemi is being bold enough to raise the issues, I think what Nigeria should do is to investigate the issues and fix things as they were.
Yeah, I think you've raised a very good point talking about trauma, being traumatized. I mean, people that are currently in the system won't see it as trauma. They'll see it as a way of building up a child, making them strong, building character, building resiliency in what they do. But when you go out of Nigeria, you see that things are done differently. You may want to say maybe the people that didn't grow up in Nigeria, they don't have that character. So I don't think that is accurate as well, because wherever you go, you're gonna see a bad child, you're gonna see a good child. So some people will say it's not really trauma; it's just a way for people to build you up in a good way. And they used to say in Nigeria, a mother gives birth to a baby, but the whole community will raise the baby. Many of this, statement is not true overseas. You're by yourself. In fact, that's why many Nigerians they find it difficult to acclimatize themselves when they travel overseas, because you're always having a neighbor to talk to, having a neighbor to share stories with, and having a neighbor to get along with. But in most places, especially when you're new to a system, it's difficult to acclimatize yourself with the way most cities, most apartments are designed. So people kind of feel lonely when they first travel out of the country. But as time goes on, they start to adjust to the system. So yeah, if you're saying it's a trauma, then yeah, it's a trauma for you and for some other people out there as well. But if you're currently in the system, if you've never seen any other better system, any other better way of educating children, yeah, you think you're just being weak, you're not being strong. So Nigeria will teach you how to be tough mentally. I don't know, we try to bring that mentality to our children here overseas as well, because whenever there's an issue, you say, hey, send him or her to Nigeria for a year, or let him go to school in Nigeria to go learn some lessons. But the system is different, and we're raised different in a different time. The world is changing, people are changing, and systems are changing as well. So if one person say they're traumatized by the educational system in Nigeria, yeah, maybe we need to look at it and find a way to make it better for the next generation. If you attended primary school or secondary school in Nigeria, and if you didn't go to private schools, public schools don't have transportation system to get you from your house to the school. Your parent will have to find a way to get you from your house to school. But in other systems, in other countries, if you attend a public school, the public school will drop you off at the bus stop. You don't have to walk. Some children, they walk 1 kilometers, they want 2 kilometers, they walk 100 kilometers to get to school every day with little to no food to eat in the mornings. To that child, when the child develops and grows and leaves that system, and the child goes outside of the country, they're gonna say they're being traumatized while sharing their experience. So I'm sure many of us walked multiple kilometers to get to school each day. Some people they get on Okada bike, and they get into a crash. Some people get hurt in that process, and people they're fortunate enough to have a car that will take them to school. And even some private schools, if you attend some private schools, some have buses, some don't have buses. So you will still be responsible for getting your child from home to school. And if you don't have the means to pay for transportation for your child, then you will still be responsible for that part of their education as well. So I believe our system is the way it is. It's our culture. It's what we've known over the years. And if you've never seen any better system, you wouldn't say that there's a better system out there. And I know there's an idea that says if you've never been to another man's farm, you think your father's farm is the largest, right? So the experiences shape us, it shapes our beliefs, it shapes the way we think. So people shouldn't, criticize Kemi for our trauma, for our experiences in Nigeria. So I think we just need to find a way to improve our system, make it better for the upcoming generation.
Yeah, I mean, that is her story, and you cannot say otherwise. That is her lived experience, and she's free to express it however she wants to express it, however she wants to say it. You may not like it, but that was her life, and you can not just knock her based on her lived experience. And just like we've been saying, if you have not been opportune, see a system that works, you did be surprised. You did be thinking that she's doing too much. No, she's not doing too much. And I still remember in our secondary school days, at least from our house, my house to our school, at least would be close to 4 miles, and we used to walk it. And that was even good self, because even within in my village there are probably around 7 communities that make up our district. And each of those communities, there are some that live as far away as close to 10 miles, 15 miles away from the school. And a lot of them walk to school. They walk to school and walk back home. And there are even people that live far, like a farm settlement, Telugu and stuff like that. They use bicycle to come to school, and they have to leave very early. And it never made sense to me. Then those people that live very far away, they will, at least it takes them on average at least 45 to 1 hour bicycle ride to go to get to school. And when they come to school late, when they come late to school, they will beat them. They will, flog them for coming late. And it never made sense to me. So if people like that tomorrow become somebody big, somebody, and they have opportunity to a big stage and begin to tell that story, people will start saying that they are tearing the country down, they are demarketing the country. No, they are not. That is actually people's experience. In fact, I remember when I was in primary school, close to primary five, primary six, JSS1, JSS2, we used to come back from school and go to farm to eat lunch. They will cook food, especially during the planting season, in order to lure you to come to the farm to help out. They will cook everything, cook all the food from home, and take everything to farm. They will tell you to come and eat lunch. To come to farm to eat lunch. And the farm from home to farm is well over 15 miles. You have to walk to the farm to eat lunch. After eating lunch, you will help them out with planting around 5 o'clock, 5:30. You start walking home. Sometimes you don't get home until like 8 o'clock. And for so many people, this is their story. And if for me tomorrow I have opportunity to step on big stage and I begin to tell my story, a lot of people will also begin to talk to me the way they are talking to Kemi Badenoch, that she's probably exaggerating, or maybe they will begin to knock me, and they will never speak on the real issue. There is actually a need for Nigeria to evolve. Nigerian school system, not just the school system, the security system, the way they handle security, the policing, the way they police the public. There is a big need for overhaul, to look at it critically and implement some of the things that work outside of Nigeria. And the funny thing is that a lot of these people, the IGP, the Commissioner of Police, AIGs, a lot of them have opportunity to travel abroad and see how policing is done. In America, I have never seen a politician that is assigned about 6 police officers. In fact, maybe I haven't, done that enough, but I don't think I've seen any politician that is, getting secured by the police officer. It doesn't happen. So, but in Nigeria, you see a politician, maybe 20 police attached to one. In fact, it looks like I've stated it on one of our episodes. There used to be this man from our community that worked for Zenith Bank. I think he was one of the CEOs or CFO. He was the CFO of Zenith Bank. He was essentially in charge of all the Zenith Bank in the north. This was like close to 20 years ago. When that man was, during the Christmas time when he's coming, he comes home with close to 30, 50 police officers. I'm like, at that time, it never made sense to me. But yeah, well, I thought it was normal at that time. But now it began to like I began to question it. How come somebody is being covered by 50 police officers? What happens to the rest of the country? And you did be surprised, Nigeria, we don't even have up to 500,000 police officers. So as it is, you did be surprised. A police officer is securing about more than 1,000 or or 500 or 10,000 people, and that is not good enough. So we need to start speaking to the issues instead of personal attacks.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. So going back to Kemi's situation, I believe people should listen and fix whatever needs to be fixed and not criticize her based on their experiences. But if you want to criticize her based on her politics, yeah, sure, go ahead and criticize her based on the politics. But for many people out there that have never been outside of Nigeria or that have only experienced the Nigeria system, you will know that half of what she's saying, or maybe 95, 99% of what she's saying, it's probably true. Now, leaders need to make some changes. They need to review the school system. Need to do a review of not just only our constitution, our security, make people trust the system again, make people want to remain in the country. Because a lot of people that are relocating abroad, many of them will not come back. Many will come back, but I'm sure majority will come back if the system starts working again. If everyone is being held accountable, if everyone is following the law, people will return. We have nice weather all year round compared to some other places overseas. So it's important that the system is fixed for people to return to their origin.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think we need to start speaking on the issues. Our corrupt politicians, they need to start fixing the country instead of personal attacks on the people that are raising issues. The corruption, the level of corruption happening in Nigeria is at all time high. I know for sure that that in every political system, in every country there is corruption. But some countries or some places have systems in place to check, as checks and balances to question politicians about their activities. But in Nigeria, there is nothing like that. People just steal money and nothing happens to them. People divert public funds and people for money meant for the public. They just divert it to their pocket and nothing happens. And they dare you and then they know that you cannot do anything. And all you will do probably if you have a platform is to talk about it. But if you don't have a platform, you just run along. They have reduced Nigeria to, a handout, almost like a handout economy. If you see, in some places, you see politicians visit. Once they bring out money, 1,000 naira, people will be shouting, hailing them, hey, blah, blah, blah. No, that is not the way to go. And when I see those kind of, people, I begin to question myself, why, what do these people think about leadership? Because obviously it looks like they have no idea about leadership. A lot of Nigerian politicians would prefer to be sharing money rather than creating jobs, creating atmosphere for businesses to flourish, to thrive, supporting businesses, small businesses, for them to be able to hire people and get people off the street and get people engaged. No, they won't do that. They will rather, if they give them 1 billion for constituency project, they will spend maybe 200 million to give to people, and then the rest they will pocket it and it's unfortunate. And these are some of the issues, and these are the things that bring corruption. And these are some of the things that Nigeria needs to start addressing. Yeah, I agree with you. If tomorrow Nigeria begin to do the right thing, the government change their policies, the way they handle corrupt practices change, the way they discharge justices change, people will begin to I strongly believe that people will begin to, is it Japada? They'll begin to go back to Nigeria. And a lot of us are actually willing to go back, but it's just that the corrupt system, the corruption and the level of impunity in Nigeria is not allowing a lot of us to go. You could have 200 million naira in your account today and you wake up to zero. And banks, somebody will remove all the money in your bank account and bank will not have explanation for you. So those are some of the things that are hindering us from going back. And these are some of the fundamental issues that give rise to corruption. And these are some of the things that Kemi is talking about. And I think Nigerians should pay attention.
We definitely have a long way to go. I have a long way to go. Our leaders have a long way to go. And looking at the kind of work that we need to do ahead, and our leaders, and they've not even started looking at the surface. They've not even started exploring all these issues. I wonder if we ever see Nigeria work in our lifetime. And it's heartbreaking for me to say that. But it's been like that forever. It's just been status quo over the last 25, 30 years. So it makes me wonder if truly the system can ever change. It's sad. I mean, people will continue to speak, will continue to speak on it, and hopefully our leaders will listen, and the people still back there will demand the change that is needed. And again, the politicians, they're not looking to make any changes as long as it's favoring them, it's favoring their pockets. They're still able to send their children, send their family members abroad. They're not going to look to fix the system. They're not interested in fixing the system. But we definitely need a system overall for our country to be redeemed. Our image is terrible out there. And even within Africa, our image is terrible. All they know Nigerians with, or what do we call Yahoo Yahoo frauds, and all these crazy internet things. You see people make jokes about Nigerian prince, and people that are real princes are even ashamed to claim they're princes out there. So it's really crazy. We definitely need a system overall, a change that will redeem our image, that will redeem our system, redeem our economy, and make the lives of the people better.
Yeah. So in conclusion, I strongly believe that there is nothing wrong in the what Kemi is saying. Nigeria, instead of personal attacks on her, I think they should start looking on how to fix things. And the funny thing is that these things that she's saying today, they did not happen last year. They did not happen last 5 years. They did not happen last 10 years. They happened at least 20 years ago. I think, she's about 40 years and she left Nigeria when she was 16. So I strongly believe that this thing happened about 20 to 22 years ago. And till today, those things are still happening. Nigeria, it just look like they are not willing to change. Nigeria as a government, I don't think the people are not willing to change. I think the government, the way they approach governance, I think they are not willing to give ground. But instead of personal attacks on Kemi, I think we should begin to look at the issues, as it were, and begin to see how to address and fix them. And I also think that the politicians, for all of these things to change, I think our political class, they need to start educating their children in Nigeria, because if they are not educating their children in Nigeria, they wouldn't see reason to fix all these things. And I think that is a starting point. Thank you for watching, and then thank you for your support. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And thank you.